Hello! I am Mac, at least for a day, and everything's going to be okay. In this video, I will start my series of reading people's comments in my video where I asked people to tell me everything that they would like to have in the 5th anniversary to No Man's Sky this year. If you are YouTube and you are watching this, I told my viewers in the video where they commented that commenting was giving consent for me to show and say their YouTube usernames, so I have permission from them to do this so I don't get in trouble. I will be doing this in 5 videos. I'm trying to split it up into 5 videos over the course of this week, so this will be the first video. Not everyone's going to be in this one. But I will also probably paraphrase some of the comments so that this video doesn't get too long. Alright, let's go ahead and get into it without further ado. First is Poxer. He says, exploration/combat focused. The game needs more challenge through combat, definitely, and more to explore in space and on foot. Yes, combat is definitely a big thing that we need updates to, and definitely more things to explore. Next, the manga stand says, we need better gameplay loops on a single planet. There is great reasons why to constantly jump ship, but no gameplay loops that will keep you around except for base building. Starbound, for example, has many reasons to stay at a location, I guess I mean, for a long time. The more you stay, the deeper you can go. The deeper you go, the more stuff you get, etc. Yes, I definitely agree. I don't like that, you know, we spend very little time on a planet. I would prefer to be able to just keep exploring a single planet like all day and not get bored of it. But you know, within an hour, I usually get sick of a planet and have to go somewhere else. So, yeah, more improvements to exploration would be great. Samu Rejo says, I would love to have oceans updated so they wouldn't be so shallow and would actually be deep, dark, and scary. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Cooler oceans. We got an improvement to oceans in the Abyss update, but yeah, if they were deeper, you used to get really deep trenches, but when they changed the procedural generation, oceans are a lot more shallow now. And he says he would also want a planetary map. That would probably be very hard to do for them to make mini maps and stuff, the way procedural generation is, but who knows, maybe we'll get maps someday. Nehemiah Washington III says, completing the living ship upgrades. We know that the living ships are connected to the void, that our exosuits can't survive in the void, that Gemini was working on a suit tech that he didn't want us to see. I know that the living ships, the void, and the abyss are the storyline we are in right now. It's just a matter of actually playing it. We have to go into the void. Some players want combat, we will get that. The Travelers have told us it's coming since February of last year. Mac, there is a storyline being told right now. It reads a little like this, so the anniversary update should be continuing. Abyss, who is like the Atlas but is different. Yeah, I'm aware of the meta storyline that went on last year when we had the weekly missions. Sadly, that storyline didn't carry it over at all into the Origins update. Origins had no storyline to it, so the storyline was just the temporary weekend missions. So I really hope that eventually they'll write more permanent storyline and not just temporary storyline with events. I would like some permanent storyline that people in the future will still be able to play in a new update. Brandon Quixote says, this is a pretty ridiculous idea, but it's fun to think about. I'd love to come across members of an alien race that are suffering from a virus, and we have to shrink down and go inside them like Fantastic Voyage. Okay, I'm not going to read out all this, but yeah, that's a pretty out there idea. I don't think Hello Games are going to do that, but sounds more like maybe a spin-off game. I could be wrong. The Desolation update was like a whole new horror game within No Man's Sky, so maybe they could do something like this. But it sounds more like maybe a new game that someone should make about... Yeah, that would be very well. It would be like Fantastic Voyage, but you go inside an alien. It would be kind of like an alien dissection game, except you're tiny and you're going inside the crazy world of the insides of an alien. That's a cool idea. Don't think it's going to happen in No Man's Sky, but there you go. Mr. E says, I would like more building parts, which have been coming, settlements, cities, and space station creation hijacking would be fantastic, along with a storyline leading into a war against an unknown enemy that does not approve of the urban developments. Yeah, so this is a lot of stuff that people are wanting. We will definitely be getting more base parts, and there's a lot of rumors that we're going to be getting some kind of city or expanded settlements. Don't know if any of them are founded in truth at all, but here's hoping this year we will get more types of buildings, regardless of whether they're big cities or not. Only Surreal says, could vastly improve the living tech aspect, new living ships and possibly armor, etc. A living frigate freighter would be awesome, and a living multi-tool. Any living tech that can expand that story. For example, there could be systems in space that only living ships could take you to, and living multi-tool could swap around your arm like a glove instead of an object you hold. Yes, I love these ideas. We have the alien multi-tools, but like he said, they kind of look organic, but they don't do anything like a living ship does. Living ships move and breathe and are much more like a living thing, while the alien gun looks like it was maybe created by organic parts but is no longer alive. An actual living multi-tool or living frigates or living freighters, which are basically would be space whales, would be awesome. So expansion on the whole living ship aspect would be great. Legacy Zero, hi Legacy Zero. Legacy Zero is a fellow No Man's Sky YouTuber. He does reviews of every named No Man's Sky update. He says, I desperately need them to expand on ships. Just add a ton more parts, wings, engines, etc. Let me build customized ships, or at least do it to deepen the proc gen. So yeah, lots of people want ship customization, like the outside. We can upgrade our ships, that just improves the stats and the inventory, but we can't change the appearance at all. Personally, I don't think we're ever going to get full customization, the ability to switch out parts, but I do think and hope we will get color customization, be able to change the color of our ships. They've done it with freighters and the vehicles, so I really think they should do it for ships and multi-tools. Marquis BS says, more complicated ship physics and interactions, like having to land yourself, more complex space mining procedures, a little like in Elite Dangerous. I guess generally things which make the core game loop more challenging. I want less things tagged onto it and existing things improved. Yep, I agree. Better mining and trading mechanics and such would be great to make the game loop more fun. Thabby Nominally says, it would be awesome if Hello Games were to make frigates like a starship. However, it was different cannons that either a pilot or co-pilot could use and have the same controls like flight assist being able to turn off. Yeah, so this is something that people thought right before frigates came out. We got images in Waking Titan 2 of the frigates, and we thought that they were new medium-sized ships that we could fly and control. Sadly, they were not. You can't fly them. You just send them out on expeditions. But yeah, that's the way we thought it was going to be, and the way I wish it was, that we could fly. It would be a group. There'd be like 4 different jobs for 4 people in your multiplayer group to do. Control. One person would fly, control it. Other people could man the defenses, like one person maybe could control the shields, when to put the shields up, and then the other two people could be on turrets on either side shooting at the enemy. So yeah, I wish they could do that, but they haven't yet. But maybe someday we'll get medium-sized ships and be able to control frigates. Max Hayes says, one more thing, even if they get it simple, such as high sentinel planets instead of drones, they're walkers or quads roaming planet instead, that would be increasingly better and better challenge. And that would be simple change they could do. Yeah, we technically have quads and even now walkers that will patrol outside of manufacturing facilities, but they're never wandering anywhere else in the planet. I think it's extreme sentinel planets where a walker will be outside of a manufacturing facility, and if you attack it, you'll start getting attacked by the walker. But yeah, if all types of sentinels could be everywhere on the planet, that would be cool, especially on extreme sentinel planets. Brick Tick says, my base, which has been buried since Origins, needs to be unburied. So that's what I'd like the most. Yeah, unfortunately, they can't really unbury one specific base without changing the procedural code for all the planets. So if they adjust the height of the terrain a bit for your base, it's going to lower the terrain height on all planets, and it's going to mess up other things. So they can't really fix one little problem like that without messing things up for everybody. They can't edit one planet. The numbers for the procedural generation affects all planets. So I would suggest digging down and deleting all the base parts in your base, unless it's buried under the bedrock, which is very possible, which means you can't get to the base parts at all. So there's no way to recover your base. Supposedly the abandoned base machine works. It's never worked for me, but someone said it works for when you delete and abandon previous bases. But I would definitely suggest backing up your save before you try this. You could delete the base and hope to get the materials back in the abandoned base container, but that may not work. But yeah, sadly, there's not much way Hello Games can fix this without messing things up for other people. So, sorry. That's kind of how it is, and you're going to have to find an alternative solution, or you might just be unhappy about this forever. Sorry. Mudpaws Voom says, I'd like to see more base parts for building and a way to color the starships we all have, and war-torn old cities that we might find things like abandoned ships and caches of resources and some other things. Yeah, mainly the war-torn cities. We kind of have some of all those other things. But yeah, old ruined cities would be really cool, especially if we got dungeons underneath them, like I've mentioned a lot. Chris Bailey says, ship customization would still be nice, planet rotation and orbits, at least have pirates chase you on planets, no other enemy will ever be made, and they have their own capital ships. Yeah, pirate capital ships would be really cool. Raiders and finders around, cities. Yeah, he goes through a lot of different things on here. Very cool ideas. I like the idea of pirate freighters. All you ever get is a few small ships of pirates attacking freighters. If a big, imposing looking pirate freighter would show up and you would have to cripple it in order to defeat the pirates, that would be really cool. That's a really good idea. Linto says, player created items such as weapons, armors, and furniture made from gathering resources, sellable in the Nexus. I've always wanted that in a game. Cool ideas, yeah. Making different products to sell. That's cool. Dangle Pringles, very cool name, says, I'd love to see the food creation of the NMS to be improved and more different type of star classes we can visit. Yep, I don't like the food creation very much. For one thing, it doesn't give you recipes. All the types of food are listed in your catalog, but it doesn't tell you the recipe for making them. They should record the recipe after you make it, so that you can go back and reference it later. Otherwise, you're just going to have to look up the wiki in order to find out recipes for cooking stuff. And also, star classes would be interesting. I guess they could add more colors of stars, and special different things about those. That'd be cool. Bert Van Heel says, where to start? Well, how about being able to build the ship you want? It seems that most of that mechanic is already in the game, and the suggestion that made the most sense to me was to be able to keep parts from ships that you salvage. 1 part per ship, for example, and when you've gotten all the parts and you need, you go to the station ship's modifier and combine all the assets to get the ship that is customized to your taste. Another thing I'd like to see is freighter missions, things like setting up specific colonies for mining ops or farming and tech centers. Being able to have multiple freighters, that would be cool too. Yeah. We talked about ship customization, so I won't touch on that again. Multiple freighters would definitely be cool. Yeah, I mean, that's definitely a possibility. They'd have to make it so you can only call 1 freighter at a time, but that would increase how many ships we can own, because you could store your different ships on the different freighters, and yeah, that would be super cool. Okay, so that's where I'm going to stop today. If I did not read your comment, I will be doing all of them eventually throughout this week, so keep tuning in to see when I read your comment if you commented on that video. Lots of good ideas here, and I do believe that No Man's Sky, I mean, we know for a fact that Hello Games have been listening to our suggestions and updating the game according to what the majority of No Man's Sky players want. So if you want it and you suggest it and most of the community agrees that we need to have it, Hello Games will most likely add it to the game eventually. Obviously, super far-fetched stuff that no one else is saying probably won't end up happening. But if you keep suggesting your ideas and a large amount of the community get interested in that idea, eventually word will get to Hello Games and they'll probably consider it as something to add to the game. But anyway, I will see you in the next video of this series this week. I've been Mac. Thank you for joining me for a day, and remember, everything's going to be okay. Special thanks to my monthly supporters, Shannon and Jeremy, Shell Owens, JSpot51, Meg Payton. Thank you so much for helping me continue to make daily content.